morning, everybody. Welcome to another round of Coffee and Questions. And what's today's topic? We're going to talk about Harbor Freight's CoverPro. This one here in the picture is the 10 by 20, but the comments and discussion pretty much encompass all of them. We read through the reviews, read the negatives and stuff out at the group, and one of them decided they were going to get this. They were going to put it up outside, you know, the place where we meet, and they were going to create like a little demo area. They thought it'd be a good idea. And with a coupon, you know, this would drop the price and it would be a good addition. But the one guy went out and got it, brought it back. We opened it up. We didn't even get into the assembly part of it. We looked at everything real closely. And then I printed out all of the pros and the cons, which there's really no pros to this. There's mostly cons. And I'm going to talk to you about them, and then I'll give you something else that you might want to consider buying, but you're going to have to add a little bit more money to it. So, like I said, we took it back. It just was not going to work after we took a close look at some of the criticisms on the forum and, you know, and in the critiques and all that stuff. So even though you see it's got 4.5 stars, this is not a good value. I wouldn't consider buying it. Okay, let's switch over and let's talk about why I'm saying that, and then we'll discuss what's a better option. Okay, so the first thing that we noticed, which was true, is that you see these vertical supports here. This is made out of an ultra thin metal. I mean, it's just, it'll collapse on you real easily with any kind of, you know, force or anything to it. It buckles. And so we knew that by feeling it and playing around with it. And then somebody made the comment, well, if it damages the car, you can always go after Harbor Freight for the damage. Well, you know, good luck with that. That's not going to happen. So it's like kind of like a buyer beware thing, in my opinion. Now, the other thing is somebody tried to return it after the 90 days had gone by. That's the typical warranty on this, because the fabric on top was so thin that it tore, even like on assembly. And it's just not a good fabric. And so because it was past the 90 days, they were told, hey, look, you should have gotten the extended warranty. You know, we won't let you return it. The best thing is, why don't you just find another, you know, canvas top to put on it. They don't have any recommendations. And one of the guys out of the club actually called Harbor Freight to see if customer service could help them locate, you know, a stronger, you know, kind of a canvas top. The answer is no. They would just have to search around, and they don't have any recommendations either. So the thing is, you know, with those things, that just makes it that much more of a negative. I mean, in terms of wanting it. Now, the welds, anywhere there's welds on these, they're just little spot welds. They're not welded very well, and they're going to crack and break on you easily there under any kind of tension. The one thing that we noticed, I flipped through the instruction manual real quick. In this real fine print down there, it says, look, if you have any kind of a wind at all or any kind of rain or snow, you know, you should collapse this and take it down. Well, I would like to have been able to write the person back that wrote the instructions, because then why would I buy it? What good is it, right? I mean, so those are some of the things that I noticed right off of the bat before returning. And the other thing, yeah, I noticed on here, somebody said a lot of the connections are slip connections. Yeah, they are. I didn't put it together, but my opinion on it is if it slips together, it'll slip apart. So unless there's a way to secure it, you know, you're going to drill holes and put bolts and all this nonsense through it. It's really not, you know, that's not for me. That's all I can say. Let me see about the next questions. Yeah, okay, one guy wrote on here, the welds, those little spot welds are so weak that when he pulled and tried to tighten the canvas, it actually popped some of those little, you know, spot welds. Now, I already told you that these poles are very thin, and one of the guys wrote, in wind less than 20 miles an hour, this thing tore and it collapsed on him. So, okay, so those are just a couple of people's comments, but like I said, we knew that it was, you know, kind of on the cheap side when we took it out of the box, and we decided to return it. So let me show you some pictures real quick of ones that I pulled off of the web of people that had these for a brief period of time and returned them, and then I'll come right back. So I'll show you these like a slideshow, and then I'll be right back. Okay, this one here, like I said, mild wind. I mean, it collapsed fairly easily on this guy. All right, welcome back. I decided to come back onto this one. You can see how thin, I mean, this metal is, and you can see those tack welds, and this thing will bust with any kind of even mild wind force. So even though it tells you it's good for so many, you know, so many miles per hour wind and so forth, again, this was less than 20, which isn't that bad, and it still snapped right here at this joint. Okay, this picture is showing you all these little holes and where it's beginning to decay. And this was within a very short period of time. So this material is, this canvas or whatever it is not very thick at all. Like I said, we didn't assemble it, but I want better quality in terms of this, because trying to find a replacement is going to be next to impossible for you. And I don't think there is one. Somebody does, drop it in the comment below, but let's keep going. Okay, in this picture, you can see where it goes over that metal where it's starting to decay. He hadn't even had it up that long. And you can see all along the top where this is breaking down very quickly. Okay, somebody made the comment in here, you can use anchors to anchor it into the ground, and you can also put sandbags, around the feet of it to, stop it from blowing over. That's true, but it's not going to do anything for those spot welds. It's not going to do anything for the thin vertical, metal that's holding up that canvas top. It's still going to buckle on you real easily with little to no effort in terms of wind or anything else. And like I said, if you're supposed to collapse it according to the fine print in the instructions because there's wind and rain and whatever coming, then I don't see the point in having it to begin with. So that's my comment to it. Okay, I don't know. We never assembled it, so somebody said, look, this thing's a real son of a gun in terms of, just labor to put it together between, the slip fittings, the stretching of that thin canvas material, because it's almost paper thin. I felt it when we took it out of the box before we put it back and took it back. It is like paper thin. The material is just not good. And, I would just encourage you, I'm going to show you a different one that you can buy here in a second that is made with better material. It's not the top of the line. It's not going to cost you hundreds of dollars, but it's going to cost you more than this, yes, but it'll do you much better. Okay, one guy here says he lives in Arizona. Arizona's got, pretty hot weather as opposed to cold weather, maybe in some of the northern states. He said, look, he had it. It didn't last 2 months in the heat before it just shredded into nothing, and he just basically took it down, threw it out, and just called it a loss. What would my expectation be for $120, even with the discount? Well, my expectation is it would at least last me like 3 years. I mean, I don't think that that's an unreasonable amount of time, and that it would be made better than what we were seeing and what the comments were. So, I mean, I just don't consider this, a good value or a good buy for anybody. That's the reason for doing the video in the first place, is to alert you to, hey, you might want to think about this, and we'll take a look at one that you can buy that I think is much better in quality. Okay, so we don't drag this out. I mean, you've seen all of the downsides. I really don't have any pros about buying this. What would I buy? I mean, I would tell you to take a look at Shelter Logic. Now, I don't own it. One of the guys out at the club ended up buying it. We put it together. It's made out of much better material, and there are replacement, canvas tops for it. So let me show you a picture of it, and I'll have a quick discussion, and we'll conclude the video. But like I said, this is something you should probably keep your money, add to it, and buy a better quality. So, all right, here we go. Okay, so to start off with, personally, I don't own it. One of the club members does. We have it out at the club, and it seems to be much better in terms of the construction of materials all the way around. It's a lot easier to put up. It was quick. It was easy to do. And I'll show you here, a different view of, that Shelter Logic off of Amazon's site. All of the links I'll have below. But one of the interesting things about this is, let's say you get 2 to 3 years out of this and you start to notice some kind of funky decaying going on. As long as that metal structure is holding up well, and the one that we have is, because like I said, I've seen it, you have available from Shelter Logic the replacement covers. And you can read about each one of these and what the differences are, but at least you're able to go ahead and get that cover if you needed it. It also, by contacting Shelter Logic, they have replacement parts. So if something did fail on you, go wrong, or something happened, you could contact them and they would sell you just the replacement part. That's not true with the Harbor Freight one. They don't have replacement parts, because when we call customer service, they said no, they don't. And they don't have a replacement cover, nor do they have any recommendations on getting a replacement cover. So those to me were big turnoffs and big negatives, whereas with Shelter Logic, you don't have those problems. Let me show you the Shelter Logic ad exploded a little bit better, and we'll conclude. Give me just a sec. Okay, so now here's the actual advertisement. Like I said, the link will be below. The one from Harbor Freight is not waterproof, okay? It leaked. It leaked in a lot of the criticisms and a lot of the comments. Like I said, we didn't actually, put it together and test it out. But I believe what all of the reviewers said, especially when you're getting 20 and 30 people coming back with the same thing, it leaked like a sieve. Now, this one's waterproof. You can see over here to my right, and it has what they call twist tight, which makes the system, I guess, tension and really hold this thing in there, nice and, taut, let's say. The one that we have out at the club, yeah, it seems very nice. It seems very well constructed, much better than the Harbor Freight one. You say, well, it's going to be $192. It could cost me, even with the coupon, almost like another $100. Yeah, but this one actually will work, okay? It actually functions. It actually has a place to get replacement parts. It actually has a way to get another canvas if you need it. So there's a lot of pluses to this that I would tell you to consider over the Harbor Freight one. We all like shopping there, so do I. I continue to shop there, but I continue to do the reviews to bring to you what are the pros and cons before you make that decision. And you don't want to get into this pushback and hassle on returning it after the 90 days, or you should have bought the extended warranty, which we try to avoid because, we're all into saving money and so forth. And hey, you already assembled it, so we can't do anything for you. And some of the comments that I read, now I haven't had a lot of problems with taking things back to Harbor Freight, but I didn't wait past the 90 days either. So I can't speak to some of that, but I would tell you, if it was me, save your money, 1 or 2 more pay periods, get yourself the Shelter Logic. I'm sure that there's plenty of others out there. Somebody could drop a comment below if you know something equally as good to the Shelter Logic or better, and if there's a good value on it. It's my opinion, and it's a lot of people's opinions actually that I'm bringing to you. I'm the home handyman. I hope you click subscribe, drop a comment, give me a thumbs up. And if you like these videos and these reviews, let me know and I'll keep doing them. And I want to thank everybody. You folks have a great day. Bye-bye.